Hi, I'm Cindy, and I want to share two words with you today. The first one is pause, and the second one is see. Did you know these two commonly used words can change the outcome of how happy your life can be? And it's too simple, right? That's what you're thinking. Well, stay right here because we're about to explore how using simple words, small shifts, can help you build a happier life. Hey, this is Happy Chase, and welcome. This is a channel for anyone who's done chasing the life that you were told you want. You may be exhausted or you're just ready to kick back. You want to laugh a little, enjoy that simple stuff. This is your place. I'm 66 now, but at 40, with three kids and a dog and a life that didn't feel like mine, I just grabbed life like a grocery bag, tipped everything out and let it spill and only kept what mattered. I made good choices and I made plenty of mistakes, all in the name of chasing happy. So if you're ready to stop chasing and start choosing what feels true to you, click that subscribe button and come catch your happy with us. So at 40, I realized the dreams and goals that my spouse and I had shared were gone, or we were no longer on the same path, and we divorced. This may sound familiar, and it does happen. It opened my eyes because from that moment forward, as a woman, a single mom, and the breadwinner, I became that solo adventure. And it was scary. And that's when the happy chase odometer started. After my divorce, I went through a lot of change, just in the name of happy. So, first, I urge you to pause. When we think of the definition of pause, we tend to think just stop briefly. But really, to make your pause moments effective, you want to intentionally interrupt momentum. That's the real definition here. A moment of stillness that interrupts momentum. So, in that moment, think about what you're chasing. Could it be money? We all know money's a good thing, right? And we never can get enough of it. Regardless of their situation, there's just never enough. Or are you chasing a relationship? Or it even could be a job. For me, I knew I had to find a different job. I need something that could sustain an income to raise three girls on my own. And given the circumstances, I did take the first job offered, which was actually a referred job to me. So it was kind of a you're in situation, but it was in a field that didn't excite me, accounting. And I was bored to death. So the chase was not totally satisfied. It was ongoing. So basically, I took a job that wasn't for me. It paid the bills, and this would have been the perfect time to pause, right? Just that momentum that I had built up around this referred job, I should have paused. Now, remember, I said the second word is see. This is where, had I known then, pause and see would have been my reward. So hang with me and let's pull this together. I've done a lot of stuff. Excuse me. And I was a senior cook at a four-star restaurant. I worked in the forestry. I owned two stores. I worked in special ed. And I've done art therapy for adults. I knew what excited me. I just didn't know how to catch it. And this is where pausing and spending time right there would have set me on track way faster than my dog chasing his tail fast and furious, right? That's how I felt I was. Fast, furious, and frantic, just like my dog. And in that time, I had moved on again. And yes, for more money, because that's what it's about, more money, making more money. But this time, it was in construction. This was my comfort zone. I was happy in that zone. And it was in operational administration. So yes, my accounting panned out. and kind of blended into this new position. But my chase, I knew, was closing in on happy. I was getting close because this is when I realized that we spend our lives chasing happy when we could pause and see how to get there. I knew what I wanted. I wanted something that would please me. And this is when I finally woke up. I knew what was missing. It was the obvious. I wasn't seeing it. I wasn't pausing to notice what was around me. I did a total shift, a mindset change. Finally, in a pause, I could see what was missing. I was the happiest when I was being creative, and I was also the happiest when I was helping others. So, once again, there I did it. I set out and changed my career and went into environmental health and safety. All of my previous job contributions and my people skills, I mean, that all just flourished. But it was my love of being creative just exploded into this field. And I started making connections, and I finally caught my happy. You begin to see patience works, and so does humor. So fast forward real quick, I have a story. Um, my ex-husband had passed away a year ago, and my mom had thought perhaps I could get survivor benefits while I was still working. So I went ahead and made that phone call. As hard as it is to make phone calls at work, I went ahead and did that. And the first person I got was kind of clueless. So I was just like, okay, hung up knowing I was going to call back tomorrow. So I called the next day. That person was like, oh, I think so. But then we got disconnected. And then the third time I had stepped away from my desk when they called back and I missed that call. I actually was able to see the humor in all of this, right? I actually got a chuckle out of it and just said, oh, well, I'll call tomorrow. And that's when I recognized a shift in myself. It was like meeting a new version of myself, or perhaps even the old version of myself. Because before I wrote Repose, all that research, all that practicing to make the practicality to see if it actually worked, I would have been so irritated by this. I would have been angry and totally consumed. And I definitely would have let that moment hijack my entire day. But this time I didn't. Something in me softened. Something in me stayed steady. And that's when I could finally tie it all together. So it was that survival pattern where you just stay on for so many years. Does that sound like you? You've been on, bracing and fixing, absorbing things that don't even belong to you, but you absorb them anyway, and always anticipating. And then you just forget how to stand down anymore. Living in that mode is why life feels so loud. It's why even the small things eventually feel like they're too much. It's why you can't find your finally, even when you're doing everything else right. Practicing this theory in Repose brought out the old me, the real me, the one I recognized. And it can do the same for you. You can find your finally. If you enjoyed this journey, don't pause. Just hit that subscribe button. But seriously, you should, going forward, instead of chasing happy constantly, practice pausing, right? Just that momentary pause. And then practice that seeing. It's actually pretty amazing how the whole thing shifts. I've even made comment that, more recently, how I just feel my whole persona has shifted with it. So give it a try. It's actually kind of interesting and kind of fun. Until the next one, live in the simple things and catch your happy.